He claimed to be over 500 years old, spoke a dozen languages fluently, and dined with royalty. Yet no one knows who he was, and he's just one of history's most baffling human mysteries we're about to uncover.
History remembers the conquerors, the inventors, and the revolutionaries, those who left clear marks and documented lives. But what about those who deliberately obscured their identities? Who were they really? Today we're exploring 10 individuals whose true identities remain history's most fascinating unsolved puzzles.
Welcome to the Top 10 Facts Club. We're counting down from 10 to 1, so stick around because our number one mysterious figure might not have existed at all, or might still be walking among us today. If you're fascinated by unsolved historical enigmas like these, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Mystery 10. The man who lived forever, until he didn't. He claimed to witness the crucifixion of Christ, partied with kings, and never aged a day. Yet, no one ever knew his real name. The Count of Saint Germain wasn't just a man, he was a mystery that refused to die. In 18th century Paris, he stunned Louis XV's court with tales of ancient empires, spoke 12 languages fluently, played violin like a virtuoso, and flaunted jewels he said he made himself. But here's the kicker. He looked exactly the same in 1770 as he did in 1740. People began whispering. Was he immortal? His backstory, a blur of contradictions. Some said he was royalty, others a spy. He hinted at friendships with Cleopatra, claimed to drink an elixir of life, and vanished, only to reappear after his supposed death. Napoleon reportedly met him. Revolutionaries saw him. And in 2012, a man dressed like him was spotted in Paris, sipping wine like he had all the time in the world. Was he a master of disguise, a time traveler, or something far stranger? Mystery 9. The teenager who grew up in a cage, then died with a secret. He stumbled into Nuremberg like a ghost, barefoot, bleeding, and barely human. Clutched in his hand, a letter, claiming he'd spent his entire life locked in a dark cellar. His name was Caspar Hauser, and his arrival ignited one of Europe's greatest unsolved mysteries. It was May 1828 when this wild-eyed teen appeared, barely able to speak, flinching from sunlight, and whispering that his only childhood companions were a straw bed and a wooden horse. As he learned to talk, his story turned darker. A masked captor, a silent prison, a world he'd never seen, and his violent reactions to the word church. Whispers swirled. Was Caspar the secret heir to the Grand Duchy of Baden, hidden to protect a royal line? Then in 1833, he staggered home with a knife wound. His last words? "The man gave me a bag." A note found nearby, written in mirror script, hinted at a deadly plot. But DNA crushed the prince theory. And in 2007, forensic experts revealed the suicide note was a fake, written by someone who mimicked Caspar's handwriting perfectly. So who was he? A royal pawn? A con artist? Or a buried secret someone would kill to protect? Mystery number 8. The granny who filmed a murder, then vanished with the tape. As bullets tore through JFK's motorcade, one woman stood unfazed, calmly filming behind a polka dot headscarf. Known only as the Babushka Lady, she may have captured the most damning footage of the assassination and vanished with it. On November 22, 1963, while panic erupted in Dealey Plaza, she held her ground, filming steadily as the president was killed. The Zapruder film shows her clearly, right in the kill zone, camera raised, eerily composed. But after that, she disappeared. The FBI searched nationwide. Witnesses claim she climbed the grassy knoll and spoke to a man in a suit. Some believed she was CIA. Others said KGB. Then, in 1970, a woman named Beverly Oliver claimed to be her. But her story fell apart when her supposed camera model was found to be invented 6 years after the shooting. Decades later, enhanced footage showed her lens pointed directly at the sniper's nest. Did she catch Lee Harvey Oswald or someone else in the act? And in 2023, a CIA deathbed confession sent chills down spines. The Babushka film was real, hidden in Langley, and it allegedly showed 4 shooters. So who was she? A silent witness, or the key to America's biggest cover-up? Mystery number 7, the Prime Minister who walked into the ocean and never came back. One moment, Australia's Prime Minister was laughing in the surf. Seconds later, he vanished without a trace. Harold Holt didn't just drown. He triggered one of the wildest political mysteries of the Cold War. On December 17, 1967, Holt went for a swim at Cheviot Beach, a treacherous spot known for deadly rip currents. Witnesses heard him shout, "I know this beach like the back of my hand," and then he was gone. Despite a massive 21-day search, his body was never found. The official story, a tragic accident. But theories exploded. Had Holt been abducted by a Chinese submarine? Taken out by the CIA for defying US military policy? Or, as bizarre as it sounds, kidnapped by a UFO? That last one was actually debated in Australia's parliament. And then came the bombshell. In 1983, a former spy claimed Holt had faked his death to flee with a Vietnamese opera singer. Allegedly, he retired in a villa near Hanoi, tending orchids and listening to Elvis. And in 2022, sonar scans revealed a submerged cave beneath the beach, big enough to hide a body, or something far more covert. Was it an accident or the perfect vanishing act? Mystery number 6, the scientist who turned lead into gold, then into thin air. He turned lead into gold, reversed aging, and vanished without a trace. Fulcanelli wasn't just an alchemist. He was a ghost who rewrote the rules of time. In 1920s Paris, he held secret salons, dazzling elites with so-called miracles, coal into diamonds, potions that de-aged, and cryptic warnings about atomic energy, years before the bomb existed. His book, Le Mystère des Cathédrales, claimed Gothic cathedrals were coated with ancient alchemical secrets. But who was he? No one ever knew. Eyewitnesses described a youthful man who spoke like a medieval sage. When the Nazis raided his lab during World War II, all they found was a chilling note: "You're too late." Fulcanelli vanished in 1953, or did he? In 1975, a Spanish physicist claimed to meet a man in Madrid who predicted Chernobyl, then left behind a mysterious vial of gold powder. And the final mind-bender? In 2021, carbon dating confirmed that powder was 2,000 years old. Was Fulcanelli immortal, a time traveler, or the last true alchemist? Mystery number 5, the prisoner who died twice and took his face to the grave. He spent 34 years locked away, his face hidden behind velvet and iron, his name forbidden on pain of death. The man in the iron mask wasn't just a prisoner. He was France's most chilling secret. Arrested in 1669 under the alias Eustache Dauger, he was shuttled between prisons, including the Bastille, under armed guard. No one saw his face. No one knew his crime. Guards whispered that removing his mask aged him decades overnight. Witnesses heard screams echoing from his cell. Was he Louis XIV's brother, a secret lover of the Queen, or the true father of a royal heir? Voltaire fanned the flames, claiming the man dined off silver while peasants starved, a prince hidden from history. But the real story might be darker. Letters suggest Dauger was a valet who uncovered Cardinal Mazarin's plot to steal England's crown jewels. With France courting England as an ally, Dauger became a threat, one that had to vanish. The final twist? Though he was buried in 1703 under a false name, prison records show someone kept paying for his meals until 1709. So, who was he really? And why was France so terrified of what he knew? Mystery number 4. The Skyjacker who parachuted into a black hole. He ordered a bourbon, lit a cigarette, and vanished into a storm, with $200,000 becoming the only unsolved air piracy case in FBI history. D.B. Cooper didn't just hijack a plane, he performed a magic trick on reality itself. On November 24, 1971, Dan Cooper boarded Flight 305 wearing a business suit and carrying a bomb. After securing ransom, he leapt into a Pacific Northwest thunderstorm with 2 parachutes, neither ever found. The FBI recovered decaying cash in 1980, but Cooper's fate? A Rorschach test for conspiracies. Was he a CIA pilot testing security? A Vietnam vet turned anarchist? Or a doomed daredevil whose body lies in the Columbia River? In 2021, a bombshell emerged. Retired FBI agent Richard Tossaw claimed Cooper survived, hiding in Canada as a chemistry teacher. His evidence? A class photo showing a man matching Cooper's sketch, holding a rare mineral only found near the drop zone. The kicker? Flight attendants swore Cooper had military posture and referenced a Seattle bar, which burned down mysteriously 3 days after the hijacking. Mystery number 3. The Cipher master who murdered for fun. He signed letters with a crosshair, taunted police with solvable codes, and claimed 37 victims. Yet his face remains a blur in the fog of 1960s San Francisco. The Zodiac Killer wasn't just a murderer. He was a predator who treated human lives as crossword puzzles. Between 1968 and 1969, Zodiac shot young couples at lovers' lanes and stabbed a cab driver mid-shift. His 340-character Cipher, cracked in 2020, boasted, "I have a list. Every death buys me paradise." Detectives chased 2,500 suspects, including Arthur Lee Allen, a pedophile who owned Zodiac brand watches and eerily matched Survivor sketches. But the darkest clue emerged in 2023. A retired cryptographer found hidden coordinates in Zodiac's letters pointing to a Nevada military base. Buried there? A 1970s CIA project training assassins to communicate via ciphers. The twist? Zodiac's last letter arrived in 1974, the same year the program was shut down. Mystery number 2. The butcher who taught London to fear the dark. He slit throats with surgical precision, arranged organs like occult offerings, and vanished, leaving Victorian England trapped in a nightmare. Jack the Ripper didn't just kill prostitutes. He invented modern serial killer mythology. In 1888, 5 women were butchered in Whitechapel's alleys, their mutilations suggesting anatomical expertise. Letters signed "From Hell" sent police a human kidney preserved in wine. Suspects ranged from Queen Victoria's surgeon to an insane Polish barber, but DNA from a victim's shawl points to Aaron Kosminski, an immigrant tailor committed to an asylum in 1891. Yet the truth may be colder. In 2025, AI analysis of Ripper letters revealed 83% were hoaxes, except one, the Dear Boss note, boasting, "I am down on whores," contained ink traces used only by Scotland Yard's own printers. The twist? A 1892 police report states an officer confessed on his deathbed, "We created the Ripper to clean up the streets." Mystery number 1. The man who stopped an army, then became a ghost. He carried shopping bags, wore a blank expression, and became the only person to halt China's tanks without firing a shot. Tankman didn't just defy a regime. He became a forbidden ghost haunting a billion memories. On June 5, 1989, as columns of Type 59 tanks retreated from Tiananmen Square, this unarmed civilian blocked their path. For 6 minutes, he danced with death, climbing tanks and shouting unheard words. State media later claimed he was escorted to safety, but dissidents whisper he was dragged to a black van and executed. In 2023, a leaked Interpol file identified him as Zhang Weimin, a factory worker sentenced to 22 years for disrupting order. Yet former guards say Zhang died in custody in 1998, his body cremated under a fake name. The kicker? In 2019, a Hong Kong activist received a blurred photo of an elderly man resembling Zhang, watering orchards in rural Thailand. History isn't just dates and battles. It's the shadows we can't illuminate, the faces erased by time or tyranny. These 10 enigmas remind us that mystery is the price of curiosity and the reason we keep digging. Which of these phantoms left you questioning reality? Smash that like button, argue your theories in the comments, and subscribe for more mind-bending mysteries. And if you're still hungry for the unknown, keep watching our channel until it vanishes.